Hello, I'm Franciscan Father Albert Haase, and today I would like to talk briefly about what is the spiritual journey? What is spiritual formation? Probably the best definition I heard was from Robert Mulholland, who says that the spiritual formation is the process of being conformed to the image of Christ for the sake of others. I like that definition. It begins by saying that the spiritual journey, the spiritual formation, is a process. So oftentimes we tend to think of it as a destination, that it's somehow or another we'll be able to get there in this life. And that's not true at all. It is a process. There's no such thing as a microwave oven that we can jump into and then come out being completely spiritually formed. It's a lifelong process. So the spiritual journey, spiritual formation, is the process of being conformed. Notice the passive voice there. It is something that is done to me. So oftentimes many people think that somehow or another they can become spiritually mature by their own willpower. Well, let me tell you something. Willpower will get you to the 50-yard line, and that's about it. But if you want to get within field goal range, if you want to get within the red zone, if you actually want to make a touchdown, you got to allow God's grace into your life, and you have to respond to God's grace. And that's where that whole idea comes in of being conformed. So the spiritual journey, spiritual formation, is the process of being conformed to what? To the image of Christ. Christ sets the benchmark for all of our attitudes, for all of our actions. And that is basically how we will be judged on whether or not we have been faithful to our baptismal identity of being a Christian. Christian literally means a little Christ. And that's the benchmark upon which everything is decided. So the spiritual formation, spiritual journey is a process of being conformed to the image of Christ for the sake of others. I think so oftentimes where there's this kind of misconception that we become holy, we become saints in our lives for our own personal sanctification. Not at all. Not at all. We always become holy. We are called to become saints for the sake of other people, for the sake of the world. All of us have been placed on this earth with a mission. And that mission is to bring the good news to people. That mission is to give sight to the blind. That mission is to help people who are poor, who are alienated, or who are marginalized. And so, spiritual formation, the spiritual life, the spiritual journey is a process of being conformed to the image of Christ for the sake of others, for the sake of the world, for the world's salvation. Thank you very much.